Hey everybody, it's me, your friendly neighborhood rectangle. And yeah, so... Is that my sister? That's sister, hello! So, I'm so glad to see you here. Yeah, so I was nosing through the Switch games, looking at the sales and stuff. And I was like, what? What's that? Oh, best burb! And all of a sudden I was like, oh, is that Shadowgate? Yeah, it looks a little different now. So, yeah. We're gonna play the new updated version. Yeah. I'm okay, I guess. Just tired, really, more than anything. You know. And sinuses. I was just like, yeah, let's go ahead and do something. Abstraction. Oh. So Joy. I don't know any of these people. I hope you are too. General Arcade. Oh, he looks edgy. All right. Okay, so... Oh my god, that music takes me back. So, how retro do we want to go, guys? How retro do we want to go? Do we want to go all the way but with upscaled graphics? We can totally do that. Or we can listen to the Nintendo version of these tunes and similar transitions and text. It's gonna be great. Do I want all new or a mix of old and new? I'll let you guys decide. Because it's like they've remastered the music to where it's like orchestrated and stuff. That's really the only difference. Full retro. Alright. I think Seaster will recognize some of this. But I know some of the puzzles have changed. Play the newest version and see if I like it. It's literally, it doesn't change the gameplay. It changes the audio, the text to match the old stuff a bit better, and then the transitions are retro. And just to start, I can change that. The graphics are the same, yes. It's only new upscaled graphics, with the exception of the transitions. Because I played around with this earlier, that's why I was like, do you wanna? The music will sound very familiar for anybody that's watched my previous playthroughs of Shadowgate for the NES. Oh! Love you too, Mom! Much love. And also, hello! Old school Shadowgate music. Let me know if that's too loud. So I can play normal, or I can play classic. Classic difficulty is for people who have played Shadowgate and other first-person adventure games before. Normal is for most modern gamers, I'm betting, that haven't played these kind of games. I want to go with classic, I think, for the difficulty spike. Yes. For novice adventurers, gameplay is challenging. Is more challenging. For veteran adventurers, most opportunities to meet the Grim Reaper. I'm gonna put it on easy because I have noticed that they've changed a lot of the puzzles. So this will be almost like a first time playing because they have changed some of the puzzles and how they function. So I'm gonna go with easy. And I'm gonna keep tips off. I don't know what that Iron Man mode is. Doo-doo-doo. Come on. It's loading. Doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. Oh.
A hero's journey? A great quest?
Oh, this is new.
Certainly it shall be these things. But for you, young Jer Cuthaka, soldier of Windermere,
Oh, that's my
could
name.
it not be so much more?
Wait, I got a name now? And I'm from Windermere?
Dreams, I have come to you, beseeching, entreating. Ride south, boy. Take naught but a dirk, a torch, courage.
Oh.
Ride south from Rivellin, around the southern arm, through the Waven Fair Wood, past Myrithath, beyond the citadel of Murlach Tor.
I have no clue where any of these places are.
Gimdane, and the darkness of Tarketh's Pass.
Right.
There you shall find my stone in wait. Under the shade of the mountain range, none have entered, either on foot, on mount, on wing.
Well, it looks pretty, doesn't it?
Keeper, the oldest of spires, it harbors that which has been spoken of in whispers and ascribed to legend. Shadowgate, the living castle.
Oh, we're getting some backstory. This wasn't in the instruction manual.
But all is not as it should be. One of our own is now our great bane, a blight upon us.
Okay.
He has brought the ancient keep low.
So is this the wizard
And it now
Lackmere
lies fallow.
that's talking to us?
It is there that you will find me. Lackmere of the Circle of 12.
Well, I suppose that answers that.
It is there that you will find this great quest.
Neat.
It is there that you will find yourself.
Oh. Because, I mean, in the NES version, it was just the last thing you remember was standing before the wizard Lackmere as he said blah, 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 blah. Oh my god, this music takes me back. Yes! With Lackmere's echoing about your head, you stumble a bit until the world ceases its lurching. You stand before the Gatekeeper Mountain, an ornate door framed by... Oh, I pushed a button. A series of skulls is fashioned into the rock wall. Oh, this is different already. Okay. So, because in the NES version, you just move the skull, get the key, open the door, because this is locked, right? Iron bands bind the rough-hewn wooden planks that comprise this door. The door is locked. Okay. So, do I pick this up? Oh. I don't like the menu. You nearly drop the skull when it begins to speak. About time, boy. You have no idea how long I've been here. You can call me Yorick. I have no recollection of how I got here, but I do know plenty about this. Difficulty navigating things. Castle. If you need help on this quest of yours, just speak to me and I'll give you a hint. Oh, okay. Alright. Ooh, there's the key. Oh, so I moved the skull here instead of up here. Ah. All right. And so if I do this, oh no, if I do that, oh, I tried to stay at the castle. Oh, I hacked through thick roots. Now can Gib, I need helmet. I put a root in my satchel? Why did I put a root in my satchel? Okay, I took the helm. I have roots now? Neat. Oh, okay. So, how do I equip things? You're not helping me, game. Archive outfit. Would that be... Ah, okay. I place the oversized helm on my head. It is so large it nearly obscures my vision. Happini and chat. Oh, we're getting some nice drops in the community game. Okay, is there anything else that I'm seeing through here? Okay, no. There's not. Alright, so I'd be out of that. And then I do this. I need to use the key. Yes. I turn the key, unlocking the door. After a moment, I toss the key aside. Woo! The door opens with an eerie creak. Alright. Oh, there's just some old school transit. Oh.
Lakmir was a fool to send a child to do that which even the vaunted Circle of 12 could not. Contain my growing power. Come if you wish. It makes little difference. Seal your fate within this living castle of the dead.
That was kind of spooky. Okay. I got a torch. And another torch. And a sling. Okay. Can I... okay, so I wonder if this works the same. Where I need to use the lit torch on the rug. The rug bursts into flames, sending a cloud of smoke up towards the vaulted stone ceiling. Ooh! I got coins. Mario ain't got nothing on me. Ba-ding! Ba-ding! Oh, what's this? It's a stick. Oh! Because in old school Shadowgate, you burn the rug to get the key. So here's the key here. Right. Okay, so I put the key in the satchel. Use this key on door. Oh, I backed out of it. Okay. I struggle with both hands to turn the key in the stubborn lock. A satisfying click echoes through the chamber as I toss the key aside. Let me in! I want to talk to you about my car's extended warranty! It's a Fei-Fei! Welcome on in, my love. We're playing some old school but upscaled retro games. Yeah. And also, let's do a little bit of love here. There we go. Had super big fun playing Among Us with you earlier. Excuse me. A damp, musty breeze wafts out from behind an altar set within the stone alcove. You know that the long hallway continues further into the mountain. Okay. It's Krell. Okay. And there's another torch. Gib. Alright. What's this dude doing? Oh, I patted down the corpse. My rough handling produces a piece of parchment and a scroll, which I put in my backpack. So, can I read them? I don't need to use the scroll on skeleton. Hey, no problem, honey. I'm glad that you're here. Always appreciated, and that bothers me. Use thyself on skeleton. What does that imply? Game Jesus. Alright, Oh. Is that... Okay. Alright. I put my shoulder against the stone and push. The rock fractures and crumbles inward, revealing an opening. Okay, so if this plays like the NES version or the Macintosh version, I'm going to need to open this book and not take it because it'll kill me. So we'll do this. Something shifts under my feet as I open the book. I scan the ancient manuscript, noticing most of the language is unintelligible. However, one word stands out from the rest: Invocan. In your mind's eye, you see a glyph glowing with power. And quickly write down the strange marking in your spell book. You have learned a spell! Yay! Alright. So, how do I... No, I don't want to do that. So, I don't want to do that. Okay, what if I use from bag? Use thyself on thyself. Okay. Oh no. Okay, so how do I... The parchment of this scroll is brittle to the touch. Okay, so can I open that scroll? That's one thing I don't like about this so far is... Open! Thank you. The scroll crackles as I unroll it. So... Yeah, this is a convoluted system. This is why I didn't like Secret of Mana. Okay. And now I want to look at... You read the message scrawled on the page. Brown, I have your dog! This is a Charlie Brown reference! If you wish to see the flying ace again, then bring the 3 pumpkins to the place beyond the harvest door. But be wary for one. Outfitted in a mask for the hallowed eve can gain entrance. There you must carve my visage and illuminate the sacrifices in the field of jack-o'-lanterns. Then I'll be freed and this will all end. Is that the great pumpkin telling me to... Cordially, DP. Right. That's hilarious. Oh my god. That was a good little Easter egg. That was cute. Okay. So can I open? Okay. You read the message scrawled on the scroll. Fandrel. This missive is of utmost importance. We must coordinate our efforts. Seek my obelisk in the acolyte den below the sewers. I fear the worst is upon us. But I have plans in motion that may yet avert disaster. It is signed. Oh. Okay, I know what you're referring to. Alright, so how am I going to trigger that? Alright, I got you, Lakmir. Alright, so I've done that, I've done that. I can't do anything with the candles because that'll cause the floor to go kabloof. Even though you do not know the name of the stone deity, you mutter a quick prayer under your breath. Okay. So, let's go here. You force yourself through the narrow opening and into the darkness beyond. Cold air rushes down into this chamber, no doubt from the opening in the rocky wall above. Okay. Hey yo, there's a spear. Give. Oh, that's an arrow. Okay. I'm apparently just going to pick up all the bones. Oh. I'm startled by movement within the cavern entrance above. The torch's flame momentarily flickers. Okay, you telling me to GTFO, I got it. Alright. You stand at the edge of a lava-filled chasm, and as impossible as it seems, the faint, terrified screams of some unfortunate soul echo within its depths. Do I... Well, that's a brazier. Can I use it? Is there anything in the brazier? No? Alright. Oh, hello, you. Alright, so where is the torch I need to throw at this thing? Oh, there's even a hint right there. A dense fog greets you as the stone passage opens into a small chamber. The temperature plummets as a creature materializes in front of you. It flinches from the light of your torch. This is a wraith, my friends. This is a wraith. And I don't... What's that over there? What's that? I understand it got cold and dark. And bippity boppity, get off my property. Hello? What? This? Oh. Right, what? B? On this bloke. What? Why? Okay, do I have to throw it at his head? Am I canceling it out? I don't... I bet it's not strong enough. Okay. So if I use this... Nope. This... Some other torches. Ah, right there. Magnemite in chat. I pushed the wrong button all those times. Okay. With a cry, you swing the lit torch at the wraith. The ethereal being is instantly enveloped in a bright flash of flame, its tortured moan hanging in the air as it vanishes. I keep thinking about those flaming eyes. Exactly what are we dealing with here? The animated skull asks. Okay. What's he at? I got pumpkin! As I grasp the large orange thing, it becomes painfully clear that this is a pumpkin. Right? What? I'm supposed to get a... No. No. Use thyself on lit torch, yes. No. Hey, Drago, welcome on in, honey. Glad to see you. I don't like the fact that I don't see a cloak in here. That's what you're supposed to get. Welcome on in. I am doing fine, Drago. How was your stream, honey? Whether it be a sewer or a reservoir system for the castle, mold, mildew, and moss bespeckled the stones within this chamber. It was good. Awesome. Uh-oh. Oh my Jesus, how do I get this to work? Okay. Ooh, that was scary. No, this is actually Shadowgate. You've seen me play this before on NES and stuff. Yeah, that's the sound that your torch is dying. And if it completely burns out, you're done for. You have. I think you might have. Their meaning, strangely familiar. The letters E, P, O, and R have been carved into the wall. It's all good, Draco. Ah, all right. There's an iron bar. Okay, so there's not a rope here. Opening the hatch. Yeah, they've upscaled the graphics and everything else on this. It was originally done for the Macintosh, honestly, back when it was a black and white screen. You jump and manage to find a handhold within the hatchway. After a frantic moment or two, you've managed to pull yourself through. This reminds you of the Elven Funhouse at King Otto's Fair. You remember taking your sister, hoping to lose her in the reflective maze. Yeah, I've also played this game in German. Oh, that's a bottle. It is. It is very much like that. I wonder if that's vile too. Oh no, you throw your back out. Okay. No, no, no. Okay. So can I go back? A large block of cold granites. Okay, so I have to go back once I came. I don't have what I need to open the fun mirrors yet. Okay. Can I will simply not budge. Okay. Huh, what was that? Oh, can I go here? I'm in ankle deep water, okay. Weird. Okay, I guess I have no choice but to get out. So what's that? You pull with all your might, but it's enchanted in some sort of way? 3. Oh. Alright. Can I... Truly, this must have belonged to one of the wizards in the circle. Parchment? Failed to accomplish much of anything. Okay. Did we read that parchment? Because a lot of this has to do with reading, unfortunately. Read the hastily scrawled writing on the parchment. Since it is only a means to capture and control the elemental, you must hide the silver orb beyond... beyond the waters of the sewer. So I need to find a silver orb. Okay. Thanks for shouting out, Drago. Yeah, Gumbo's here. All right. I'll figure out these controls soon enough. Maybe. Mushrooms! I dreamt of mushrooms. Does that mean anything? Kupo! Oh, as you read the scroll, one particular word stands out from the rest. Entrays. Or entree? In your mind's eye, you see a glyph glowing with power. As you write down the strange marking in your spell book, the scroll disappears. You have learned a spell. That bothers me. Don't worry, I'll defend you if they call you an imposter, and I'll bring Nerm too. Aw. So, what does this spell do? Calming your mind, you draw in power from your surroundings. As you begin visualizing the spell, the vivid memories of your childhood distract you. The subsequent spell backfires in... Wait. What was that? I saw something over here. Oh, it's the get the heck out glyph. Okay. Nerm's really good at dealing with intruders. I wonder... This is totally different than the original Shadowgate. Wow. Alright, so can I put the root in the brazier? No, okay. Oh. Okay, so Illumai's in chat for anybody that's interested. Mind glimpses some spectral person at the edge of your consciousness. Oh, wow. The meaning of this spell clue. I bet. Okay. Okay. Maybe if I go to the sewer. Okay, maybe I use that spell in here. Because I'm used to having to do the e-pour to have the rope go up. Okay. Because that's rope backwards. But I don't see a rope in here. This game has changed. It's not bad. So... Okay. Oh, I bet it was supposed to be over here. Right. Okay. Well, poopy-doo. Mess with the meow, you get the owl. Yes. Tiny scurrying sounds can be heard coming beyond this gate. Oh. Big fat nothing. It's the Three Doors game. Yes. Well, it was worth a shot, wasn't it? Oh, okay. A series of ancient doors encircled this small hallway. It looks as if a battle had been fought here long ago. Oh, I got a sack, huh? Alright, what's in the sack? What's in the sand? Finding dice and a scroll. Okay. Okie doke, Draco. I'll probably be streaming for maybe 30 minutes to an hour longer, and then I'll call it quits. I gotcha. Definitely. Lurk's always appreciated, honey. Oh, I got a bone. I got a skull. I'm apparently just collecting bones and skulls. Alright. Is there anything else here? Because it looks like we're in a collectathon, right? With a grunt, you push the door open. Obelisks. Now there is something I would look for if I were you. Wizards love them, Yorick says. Door opens. Okay. Alright. With a large cavern, you find yourself on the shore of a placid underground lake. Burb! Welcome on in, Trog. As you put your toe in the water, something huge underneath the surface stirs. Sufficiently cowed, you rethink your action, deciding caution is a better strategy. Okay. Can I speak to him? You yell, "Hello!" to the skeleton. The echo within the chamber sends chills down your spine. Hello! 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 Oh no. Alright. I can't get a closer look somehow. Not yet. Couple! A magnificent waterfall cascades from the mouth of an ancient stone statue, painstakingly carved into the cavern wall. Below it, an undulating mass of water hovers playfully above the river. I guess you will, Gumbo. I guess you will. This marking looks like a dwarven craftsman's stamp. Okay. Okay. Deep underground crevasse. I'm looking for any clues here. Any clue? Nope. Alright. Because in the NES version, I know what to do there. I don't know how to... Okay. So if I go over here... Teeth chattering, you stand within the cold cellar, hugging yourself for warmth. A creature made of ice hovers playfully on the far side of the wall. Okay. Gib. You can never have too many torches in these games. That looks like a spooter. I don't like that. That looks like a spooter. It looks like a giant spooter. Okay. So there's lots of frozen business up in here. In the Oh. Alright. In the NES version, you used a gem that you got from that waterfall room. Of course, there is a slight time limit because you've only got so many moves before your torch burns out. And you run out of torches and things. So... Oh yeah, we got a scroll, didn't we? Okay. While the writing is difficult to discern, you manage to glean a few key phrases. While the danger is real, alert the surrounding lands, seal off the passages into Gatekeeper Mountains. The wax seal shows an eagle in flight and is signed by someone named Fandril. Oh, is that more members of the Circle of 12? Neat. Okay. With stone tombs lining the walls of this musty crypt, there is an ancient, almost reverent air to this place. I know, right? Oh, no. What's that? Oh, that's a shortcut. Nice. So... I have not a darn clue. Oh. Dang it, I do not know what to do. Oh, there's a map! Oh, that's... Wow! Okay. That's heckin' neat. Okay, and then if I do this... Oh, I just accidentally... There we go. I mean, I can change it. Oh, well, that's a big fat no. All right. Talk to me there, Yorick. Rookie D in chat. Magical cage. Right, but how do I get to Lackmere? Because Lackmere should be in that room. I don't know how to do the... I don't know what it's wanting from me to do what it wants me to do. I know what it wants me to do. I just don't know what order to do things in. Because that Epor room is where Lackmere was chilling out last. In the old school game. Let's try it, shall we? Alright, well, you just stay there. So... Empty bottle. No. Oh! Alright. So it's a dry vial. Okay. Right. Okay. Look for an obelisk. I ain't found an obelisk yet. It's a big stone thing. Yeah. Tiny scurrying sounds can be heard coming from this gate. Use the lit torch on. Oh. Okay, can I burn the... You look like you came from over here. I wonder... Okay. But I wonder... Did we try this on that other one? That's loose? Oh no. we go. I figured that out. All right. So let's go here. And there's the obelisk. All right. Peering into the darkness, you drop down into the muck and crawl through the tight opening. The stone den is damp and smells of copse and green foliage. As if a mirage, the far side of the cave shimmers and power emanates from a standing stone obelisk. Nearly 10 hands high, embellished with strange glyphs and 3 deep notches. An inner hum emanates from its center, setting your teeth on edge. Oh, can I get these mushrooms? Okay. Anything else pretty nifty? Huh? Oh. Okay. So, we were supposed to use some... Wait. Oh. Okay. Hey! It did some... Oh! A strange apparition coalesces from within the obelisk. The ghostly figure of an old man cloaked in a shimmering veil.
You have done well, simple soldier. Now, listen if you have ears, since the shadows grow long and time fleet. Some 40 years past, an evil, the likes the world has not beheld, escaped its prison. Talimar, the Black, he of whom I have already spoken. This warlock lord brought forth his dark magics and conjurations, and unleashed his foul vassals, desecrating these sacred halls. Talimar has laid waste to the combined power of man. And what of the Circle of 12, the great wizards? They are no more. I am the last. Pity me not, boy. We were resolute in our judgment, but erred greatly. 'Twould have been better to put our brother to death, but mercy and folly prevailed.
Wow.
I know not Talimar's full plans, but have discovered enough to fill my heart with fear. And yet, hope remains, and it stands or falters with you. Fare thee well.
Ooh. That's spoopy. Blackmar the Timeless vanishes, leaving behind a scroll, a glowing orb, and the words "Fare thee well." Thank you. The silver orb! Alright, and then I got a scroll. Is that going to tell me about the bladed sun, find to 5, 3, blah, 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 blah. Maybe. Gripping it with both hands, you carefully unroll the scroll. I want to read this. Oh. Quick question. You know we're on a quest, right? Oh. Yes, I know we're on a quest. Trying to do things here, Skilla Man. Jeez. Ah, okay. You read the words on the scroll aloud. 5 to find 3 or 1. 1 gives access to the bladed sun. The silver orb to banish below, the staff of ages to vanquish the foe, joining to the golden thorn, the last to blow the silver horn, I bet. The last to invoke the platinum horn, sorry. Okay, so that's talking about the staff of ages. I got it. Okay. I got it. So now I've got to throw this silver orb in a place with water? Is that what I'm doing? Or am I gonna try to invoke somebody? I don't know what those runes mean. Because eventually we'll need to go over here, but if we try to go here now, you see that rickety old bridge. It'll crumble under our weight. Excuse me. I wonder if I put the orb here. Excuse me. Oh. Well, no. Alright. I got nothing. Okay, yep. I wanna go here. There we go. Alright. Yep. So, uh-oh. Momentarily flickers. So, on this torch. There we go. So I need to go over here, and I have the feeling that I need to use that silver orb somewhere over here. But I don't know what to do with that. Aha! Taking the silver orb from your satchel, you advance upon the ice elemental. You can barely hold on as a power from within the orb latches onto the singularity and pulls it inside. A frosty pattern immediately encases the orb. Okay, so now can I use this on that? I want to use this. There we go. Gib. I got a scroll, and then there was a key? Is there a key somewhere? Yeah. No, it looks like it's good. All right. They have done a lot of changes to this. Alright, so I'm gonna have to use that over here. But first, I want to read some scrolls, please. As you scan the scroll, one particular word seems to jump out at you. Agap. In your mind's eye, you see a glyph glowing. Drowsy in chat for anybody that's interested. With power, and quickly write it down in your spell book. And then the scroll goes kerploof. Okay. So, if I do that, and then I use from bag, I don't need to use any of these scrolls on anything. But if I use this, let's go. Now let's examine him. You make your way across the slippery ice towards the chained skeleton. Skeletal remains of some unfortunate soul are chained securely to this rock, but there's a key right here. Yup. Can I... Oh, okay. So what's this business up here? Ah, okay, so it's a danger. I see. Okay. Is there anything else over here? Nope. So I should GTFO here. And then to get that back, I need to use the torch. On the water. Okay, I skate for a bit. Oh. I want to use the lit torch on this. Okay, yep, and now give. Thanks. Alright, so I did that. I got the key. So that was just a little bit roundabout. Alright, and then it refreezes. Okay, so that makes sense. Now, there was a water elemental over here. So I need to attract him. Or her, or it. I don't know. So... Hey, Chernobog, honey. Glad to see you. On you. Yoink. Alright. So I've got water on the orb. Alright. So... Oh, I don't know surf. I don't know waterfall yet. Glad to see you, though, Churn. Alright, so there's nothing there. I don't know what to do here. Because that should be the giant cavern. Can I go over there? Oh. Alright, so I need to go this way. I have no bloomin' onion idea. Okay, so you're back there. Because if I go in here, I know what's going to happen. The smell of brimstone rises within this chamber as a pair of glowing eyes watch your every move from an opening in the far wall. I I do not know how to handle this guy. Because if I grab that shield, I'm going to get killed. Hey, Royal Deacon. Okay. Okay. Hey, it allowed me to go. Okay. Woot! I'm doing fine, honey. How are you? Yup. I know in the original NES version, you got 3 chances to grab stuff. I've already got a helmet. I don't need that. I really think that that's all I need from here. But I could be wrong. It glows red hot. Okay. So that's telling you to GTFO. Practicing typing so you can try for it. Hey, I wish you luck with that. Okay. So that was that. That was that. Oh no, it's a banshee. Okay, so... Okay. Oh, there's a pumpkin. Aha! All right. Shield and a masker. Okay. Take these. That's a shield. Okay. A sword falls out. I'm gonna need that. A scroll, right. And this should be a scepter. An amazing gold scepter and a gold sack. Okay. We'll need that for later too. All right. Now, it is fused shut. What do you mean fused? How is it fused? Okay. So that's not it. What about you? Oh. Ooh. Right. Oh. Scroll and gear. Alright. Ugh. I love these old games. Alright. So I want to do this. I want to open it, and then I want to read it. It is, Soulbane. Glad to see you. A drawing of 6 rectangular... Oh. Is it my family history? What? No, I know what this is referring to. The drawing of 6 rectangular shapes are drawn on the parchment. Several lines point to the shapes with writing underneath. You read 2 of the notations. This mirror leads through the furnace and into the castle beyond. These mirrors require power to activate and will teleport to places. So it's not just instant death in that room now. Okay. Wonder what the heck that means. Wait. I'm a dork. I need to go back in there, because either I'm using that spell in there or I'm using it back where the brazier is. Oh. It is holding an upside-down torch. I've got a skeleton key? What? Okay. Balda. Okay, so why am I having such difficulty? Voltorb in chat. Ay, ay, ay. I don't know why it's not letting me light another torch, but alright. Ah, I had to hit the sucker. Okay. And now I get to go down. Ah, okay. All right. This takes me here. Okay. So one of these I have to actually hit. Okay, you're enchanted. Or do I need to speak to it? Oh, do I really look that bad, you ask of your reflection? Unfortunately, Yorick answers by saying yup. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. So... Okay, so this one... Oh, yeah. Quit hurting yourself, goof. Alright, so would that be the skeleton key? you? No? Do I need to use the... Aha! There we go. Hey, yo. All right, so we go in through here, and can I go in? Yes. So now I need to use that orb. Where's the orb at? Okay. That's not what I needed to do. Right. Okay. So I need the frosty guy again. I gotcha. Go here. I totally goofed up. Okay, so if I go this way. Ow. And then if I go this way. Oh my goodness, I'm getting sleepy. Oof. I did not say to use the... Oh my god. Momentarily flickers, alright. Thank you. No sleep, only coffee? Okay. So now I should be able to go through here. Excuse me, and take the shortcut. Oh, mind you, I've done overtime and everything else. And I didn't have my nap today. heckin' heck. I need one of those spirits to check at him. Or to douse the flames. Alright. Just based off of how you used to play the game. Anyway. I mean, I'm not playing with like a walkthrough or anything. They have definitely changed this since I've last played. So I should be able to go through here. Go here. We'll see if water does it, and if water doesn't, then we know it's ice. Oh my god. Alright. Well, that was excellent.
You have chosen poorly, young Jer.
I have chosen poorly. Oh no. Oh, there's a lot of that in this game. So where do I use the water elemental? Unless I use it on the brazier. That's the only thing that I could think of. Because if I go here... Yeah. Oh, hey! What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you trying to hit me? Alright. Oh! Okay. So I've taken a hook. Alright. Then if I use that... Oh. Okay. There's a rune scroll? Okay. Oh, more hints. Alright. I hope I didn't just screw that up. Alright. I don't know why I was supposed to hit that, but okay. It seems to be a keystone, but keystone to what? Can I? Well, I'll probably get a spell for that later. I am so confusion. Hmm. Okay, so if I go over here and I get that ice orb. Then I get back. Ow. And then I go back here. And then I... Let's see. If I use the silver orb on the fire pit, because that's what you used to have to do. Okay. Okay. What about this? The intense fire from the Drake overpowers the lesser... Oh. Oh, do I need water? Do I need both? Or do I need to absorb him? Nope. I've been shish kebabbed and flambéed. That's not how you do it. Okay.
What a pity that you have failed in your grand...
I have tried. Black Mirror, I have tried. Jeepers creepers. Okay. So, yeah, it sounds like water is what I need. So, and water was... over this way. So if... Nope. Okay. I don't know. Okay. So if I do this on this. I said if I use this. Oh my god. This on that, and then I take it, right, and then I go back up here. that's not it. So what if I use that? All right. Man. Okay. Then I go back in here. Oh, excuse me. And then down the stairs. And I save, and I go in here. Yep. And then I use that. Woo! Okay, so I just clicked it on the wrong thing. Right. Once released from the silver orb, the water elemental immediately extinguishes the flames in the fire pit before disappearing. The effect on the fire drake is disastrous. Unable to feed upon the magical flames, the dragon's power ebbs and the thing vanishes in a cloud of acrid smoke and feeble sparks. How does that go? Out of the dragon's den and into the furnace. Alright, so I go. Oh, I have a feeling I need to use a gear. No, right there. Okay. Now, can I use... Okay. Right. Now, there's a hole. I don't need to use the spear. Maybe that? Pry the mechanism apart. Alright. Open. Okay, no. Etched in runes. Okay, so is there a spell? Like... Entrays? Oh. Oh no. I'm cursed, that's what it is. Okay. So, use a stick? Can I use a stick? Can I use a stick? What about... Invocon? No? Is there a... Ha! Andres Vus. Okay. Piece of torn parchment, huh? Ah. Okay. Oh. I have never seen this bit before in my life. Okay. While much of the scroll is faded, one part still stands out, and in the end, the evil shall be thrice defeated and thrice returned. The first shall raise a warder to bar the gates from opening. The second shall raise one of the carefree to travel the path of luck. The last shall raise a raven to remake what was undone. The letter is signed Gabriel and includes a glyph which shows 4 vertical lines of varying height. Oh no! It's making you feel obtuse. Why, honey? My night's going okay, and also, shame on me. Oh, why? What? Okay, but this is another thing where there's that spell. This'n? Oh no! You gather your will and picture the glyph in your mind, and uncomfortable pressure builds in your bowels. That can't be good. Did you think as it backfires in your face? Okay. This is actually a remake of an old school game. We have to find a wizard to stop him before he lays waste to the world that we're on, basically. We've been summoned by the Circle of 12, which is a group of mages that has tried to help you, or has tried to protect the world, as it were. Amogus! If you remember the old school game Shadowgate for the NES, this is actually an upscaled remake. Not unlike the image in your dreams, the entrance to the inner keep of Castle Shadowgate stands before you, set with a heavy wooden drawbridge. It's kind of like they've combined Shadowgate and Shadowgate 64. And we'll take this rope. got a nasty feeling. Are you serious? Right. Yeah. It just rage quit on me. Yo. Play a modern game, Drago said. Uh-huh. Okay. I'm kidding, Drago. I know you just heard me. Bedtime, I know, right? I want to make for sure that my game did not get corrupted. Because I will have a hissy fit if it did. Because that was a lot of progress. Unless they've added a heck of a lot of content, that's about a third of the way through the game for the NES version. Okay, it did do an autosave and then it noped out. Okay. That's fine. I'm okay with that. All right. Yeah, I think it is about time for me to go ahead and call the stream quits, though. But I hope you guys have kind of enjoyed, at least, you know, chilling out with me and stuff. If you want to see some of the older versions of this game, because it's a point-and-click adventure, it really is. But I've played this in English for the NES and German for the Game Boy. So, you know, those are also as tacky as it is. They're also on my YouTube channel, so feel free to check those out. But yeah, I've actually been enjoying this, seeing the updates and stuff like that. Because normally by this point we would have beaten the game on the NES. Twice. By now. Just because I'm that familiar with it. So, all right. Well, that being said, let's see. Anybody got suggestions as to who's on that we can raid out into? Anybody? And also, I'll be going back to Metroid Dread for a little bit too at some point. I just wanted to get some of my RPG type stuff going, and that was really medieval. X10gram? All right, we can totally do that. But thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I will catch you guys on the next stream. Bye for now.